NASA confirmed it. A dam built by human hands mined on a river in China actually slowed the rotation of planet Earth. Not by much, but enough to measure, enough to matter. And that's not even the most jaw-dropping thing about it. The Three Gorges Dam is the largest hydroelectric structure ever built by human beings. It holds back 39 trillion kilograms of water. It generates enough electricity to power a small country, and it took nearly 2 decades and the forced relocation of over 1 million people to build. In this documentary, we're going to cover everything: how it was built, why China built it, what it actually achieved, and the dark side of the story that the Chinese government tried to hide for years. By the end, you'll understand why this dam is simultaneously one of humanity's greatest achievements and one of its most controversial decisions. Let's get into it. Before you can understand why China built this dam, you have to understand the river it was built on. The Yangtze River is the longest river in Asia, stretching 6,400 kilometers across the entire Chinese mainland before emptying into the East China Sea. And for centuries, it killed people, regularly, devastatingly. The dam was built to manage disastrous flooding on the Yangtze River, a river that had caused catastrophic loss of life across China's most populated regions for generations. The floods weren't occasional, they were expected. Every rainy season, communities downstream braced themselves. Crops were destroyed. Villages were swallowed. People drowned. The idea of taming the Yangtze wasn't new either. The proposal for a dam on the Three Gorges was first considered as far back as 1919, when Chinese statesman Sun Yat-sen proposed it as a way to harness the river's power. But turning that dream into reality would take nearly a century, and a decision that would divide China. In 1992, China's National People's Congress voted to approve the Three Gorges Dam project. It passed, but not without resistance. Critics raised serious concerns from the start: the danger of dam collapse, the displacement of over 1.3 million people living in more than 1,500 cities, towns, and villages along the river, and the destruction of magnificent scenery and countless rare archaeological sites. 1/3 of delegates either voted against it, abstained, or didn't vote at all. For China's parliament, that level of opposition was almost unheard of. But the government pushed forward. Construction officially began on December 14, 1994. What followed was nearly 2 decades of the most ambitious and most controversial construction project in Chinese history. The Three Gorges Dam wasn't just an engineering project. From day one, it was a political battle. But here's what most people don't realize about building something this large. The engineering challenges weren't just big, they were completely unprecedented. Nobody had ever attempted anything like this before. The Three Gorges Dam is a straight-crested concrete gravity structure, 2,235 meters long and 185 meters tall. Let those numbers sink in. 2,335 meters long. That's longer than 22 football fields placed end to end. To build it, engineers had to divert one of Asia's most powerful rivers, redirecting billions of liters of water while simultaneously pouring millions of tons of concrete in its place. The dam has 32 main generators. Its total capacity is 22,500 megawatts, making it the most productive hydroelectric dam in the world. To put that in perspective, that's the equivalent output of roughly 18 nuclear power plants. And the reservoir it created? It stretches nearly 600 kilometers upstream, submerging everything in its path. The Three Gorges Dam isn't just the world's biggest dam. It's the world's single largest source of renewable electricity, by a significant margin. Now here's the part of the story that the Chinese government didn't want the world to focus on. To make way for the reservoir, about 1.4 million people were uprooted. Their ancestral homes demolished forever, communities broken up, and farmlands flooded forever. The reservoir submerged 2 cities, 114 towns, and 1,680 villages along the riverbanks. Read that again. 2 entire cities, gone, underwater, forever. As floodwaters rose, more than 1,200 sites of historical and archaeological importance that had lined the middle reaches of the Yangtze River vanished beneath the surface. Thousands of years of Chinese history, irretrievably lost. Displaced residents were promised new homes and compensation. Many received neither. A government anti-corruption report later found that officials running the Three Gorges project were guilty of nepotism, shady property deals, and corrupt bidding procedures. The people who sacrificed the most received the least. Behind every megaproject is a human cost that rarely makes it into the official story. But here's where the story takes a turn nobody expected. Scientists started noticing something that had nothing to do with electricity or flooding or displaced communities. The dam was doing something to the planet itself. NASA scientists confirmed that China's Three Gorges Dam has measurably altered Earth's rotation. The Hydroelectric project holds around 40 billion tons of water and has slowed the planet's daily spin by 0.06 microseconds. Now 0.06 microseconds sounds tiny. And it is. You'll never feel it. No clock in the world will register it. But here's why it matters. By holding back 39 billion cubic meters of water and raising it 175 meters above sea level, the dam shifted an enormous mass of water away from where it would naturally be, redistributing weight across the planet's surface and altering Earth's moment of inertia. The principle is the same one a figure skater uses. Pull your arms in, you spin faster. Spread them out, you slow down. The shift also made Earth very slightly more round in the middle and more flat at the poles, and moved the position of the North Pole by approximately 2 centimeters. A dam built by human hands moved the North Pole. Let that sit for a moment. The Three Gorges Dam is the first man-made structure in history confirmed to have physically altered the geometry of planet Earth. So after all of that, the cost, the controversy, the displaced families, the submerged cities, did the Three Gorges Dam actually do what it was supposed to do? The answer is complicated. On flood control, partially. The dam has reduced flooding in the immediate downstream region. But in 2020, water levels upstream reached dangerous heights, and millions of people downstream still faced severe flooding, raising serious questions about how effective the dam actually is at its primary purpose. On power generation, absolutely. The entire construction cost of the Three Gorges Dam was fully recovered by December 20, 2013, just a year after reaching full generating capacity. The electricity it generates has powered China's explosive economic growth for decades. On navigation, remarkable. The dam allows ocean-going freighters to navigate 2,250 kilometers inland, from Shanghai all the way to Chongqing. That opened up an entirely new trade corridor deep into the Chinese interior. But the environmental damage has been severe. Landslides became more frequent after the reservoir filled, including one that sent 20 million cubic meters of rock sliding into a tributary river, creating 20-meter waves that killed 14 people. The Three Gorges Dam succeeded brilliantly as an economic project and delivered mixed results as everything else. And here's what makes this story matter beyond China's borders. Right now, countries across Asia and Africa are building their own versions of the Three Gorges Dam, bigger, more ambitious, with the same promises and potentially the same consequences. The Three Gorges Dam changed what humans believed was possible. Before it was built, a structure of this scale was considered theoretical. Something engineers could design on paper but never actually deliver. China delivered it. And in doing so, it set a template that the rest of the world is now following. Research has since shown that the cumulative effect of thousands of dams worldwide has nudged Earth's rotational axis by nearly a meter over recent decades. Think about that. Thousands of dams, built by human beings, collectively shifting the axis of the planet. We are reshaping the physics of the world we live on, one megaproject at a time. Whether that's a triumph of human ingenuity or a warning we should pay closer attention to, that's a question worth sitting with. The Three Gorges Dam didn't just tame a river. It proved that human engineering has reached a scale where it can alter the planet itself, and we're just getting started. That's the full story of the Three Gorges Dam, the engineering marvel that slowed Earth's rotation, displaced 1 million people, and changed what the world thought was possible. If you want more documentaries covering the megaprojects reshaping our planet, subscribe to Build Sculptor. New episodes every week. Next time, we're going underground. Engineers in Norway are drilling a tunnel so long and so deep that workers inside can't tell which country they're standing in. Don't miss it.